What up, guys, and welcome back to Thomas Reacts here on the 360 experience with myself, Thomas Maba. So as we go to 2024, you know that the race-baiting politicians have already begun their campaign of actually reminding the people of apartheid. They have started to talk about the apartheid. They are saying if you vote for certain political parties, apartheid is going to be back. Man, it is so mad. And they are also saying that everything that is wrong with our country right now, it is not our fault, it is the fault of apartheid. Yes, guys, I'm talking about the African National Congress because you remember there in Joburg, after that hijacked building caught fire and 70 people lost their lives, and the ANC Minister of Social Development went there and she basically blamed apartheid for everything. Man, people were so mad that how can these people blame apartheid for illegal immigrants occupying the buildings in the middle of our cities? But the ANC didn't hear that enough, because after that the president was speaking with the media before the ANC manifesto review event in Dobsonville Stadium, and the president basically blamed the apartheid government for not producing enough town planners, enough engineers and enough CFOs, and that is the reason why there's a lack of capacity within the government, not the fact that they are prioritizing their cadres over people who are qualified in the country. So this statement really made a lot of people angry, especially young people. Like, we have so many qualified engineers, we have so many qualified CFOs, we have so many qualified architects. Guys, we have so many qualified people who are sitting at home, they are doing nothing, and these people were so mad after the president said that there's a lack of capacity within the government and that is the fault of apartheid. Then just when you thought the ANC couldn't reach a new low, man, these guys, they always manage to scrape to the bottom of the barrel, because the Minister of Transport was out there saying that it is the fault of the apartheid government for not investing in our railways. That's why our trains are not moving today, despite the fact that even during Zuma's administrations the trains were moving nicely in South Africa. They don't want to talk about it. They are blaming the apartheid government for not investing in our railways. So you know, this whole race baiting thing is out. It's out there on full. It's fully fledged. It's out there. So the topic of Orania, guys, has come up. The topic of Orania has come up, and you know that Orania is an easy target. It is so easy for people to attack and to demonize Orania and to rile up people's emotion when they talk about Orania. But today I have a video of Advocate Ike Khumalo, who's not happy about the fact that the African National Congress are so adamant on blaming Orania for everything that is wrong with South Africa.
Whenever the ANC, they're running out of shit to say, they always bring Orania, 2,000 people living in a farm. How is Orania responsible for black lives? How is Orania responsible for black poverty in South Africa? There's massive land under Ingonyama Trust in Venda. There's green land, Free State, under the ANC. They are busy transplanting squatter camps from the rest of the continent to here in South Africa instead of utilizing the land productively. Is Orania responsible for fucking up the railway lands? Is Orania responsible for trillions of money stolen since 1994? Only a few elites in the ANC, Thabo Mbeki, Maxozoma, Gordhan, Ramaphosa, the Guptas, Kgalema Motlanthe, Zanele Mbeki, Ramos, only them making money, only them enjoying this democracy. How is Orania responsible? Because whenever these bastards, they're running, short of things to say, they play Orania as if Orania is the alpha and omega of our problems. It's the least of our problems, if it is a problem at all. For me, Orania is not a problem. I don't give a fuck, whether people chose to live separately. And I commend the people of Orania because they were smart. They can think, unlike you. Still voting the same bastards, making you poor. It's not Orania who implemented the Bill Gates fake pandemic, closing all industries. It is the ANC. The people of Orania, they're smart. And Orania is not responsible for black poverty. It's your people. It's yourself who vote these bastards over and over again.
So, guys, the topic of Orania, man. The topic of Orania, it is very, I don't know how to put it. It is so emotional to me because it seems like black people right now, we have a huge problem, and this problem, it seems like we want to be accepted. Black people are desperate to be accepted in certain spaces. And this has and this has resulted in us acting in a very weird way lately, man. Because when you look at Orania, when you listen to people talk about Orania, especially black people, the first thing that black people talk about when they talk about Orania is the fact that black people cannot be allowed inside Orania. Man, I don't give a fuck if I'm never gonna be allowed inside Orania, man. So this whole thing of not being accepted, the fact that black people are not being allowed to get into Orania, that is the one thing that is really making people mad about Orania. But when you look at this thing, it is really broad, guys. It is really broad. I'm saying this because I want to talk about the issue of our education system. Right now, black people are working so hard only to take their kids to white people's schools. Our parents work so hard so that they can take young people to white people's schools. We don't want to look at the fact that we have schools in our townships. We don't want to look at the fact that our schools are being turned into shit. And there is nothing that we are doing about that. There is nothing that black parents are doing about the fact that sports has basically been cancelled in black schools, man. Right now in our townships, there is no sport, there is no debate, there is nothing. The young people are not participating in nothing. When the schools are closed, the schools are closed. And black parents are okay with that. But they would rather move their children to white people's schools where they know that if my child go to this school, besides the education, they're going to be able to participate in sport, they're going to be able to participate maybe in singing, maybe rugby, or maybe debate. But it is a problem for us because we have these schools in our townships. But we are okay with the fact that our schools within our townships are run as stockfields. We are okay with that. We are okay with that. And that is a problem with me. Because this issue of acceptance is not only based on Orania, it's the fact that black people are so desperate to be accepted in certain spaces. And some of these things, we have them in our communities. Man, just look at our sports centers, man. Go to different communities in our black communities. Go to different, see how fucked up is our sports centers. Our sports centers are fucked up. There are no more teams. Young kids are no longer playing sports out there, man. That's why right now, today, you have so many young people who it's so easy for them to get into drugs because they are doing nothing. When the schools are closed, these people are doing nothing. They sit at home doing nothing. That's why they end up doing drugs, and that's why they end up impregnating young people. That's why this whole issue of teenage pregnancy, it is so rampant within our communities. It's because young people are doing nothing. And that's why this issue of drunkards, it is fucking up our communities. It's because young people are doing nothing with their lives. So this whole issue of not being accepted, it is not only based on Orania. It's the fact that black people are desperate to be accepted in certain spaces. And it shouldn't be like that, man. It shouldn't be like that. Just imagine if black parents cared about the education of their children, man. Just imagine if these people cared what their children are being taught. Just imagine if our black parents cared about the level or the quality of education that their children are getting. Just imagine that. Just imagine how better things would be. There would be no need for black people to take their kids to white people's schools because they know that in my community we have a school that we can pride ourselves in, and this school will turn and transform my child into the best version of themselves. But we are not doing that. We are also depending on the white people's schools to transform our kids into being the best versions of themselves. Everything is run like shit, man. You look at our healthcare. People right now people don't want to go to our local clinics. Why? Because our clinics are being run like stockfields. That is the problem. That is the problem. It is a problem. The fact that we have these institutions, we have them. We have them. But we are okay with the fact that they've been run like shit. And we are choosing to go somewhere else, instead of simply coming back home to fix this problem that is facing us. Man, the first issue has to be education. Man, there has to be something that is done about the quality of education that young people are getting in this country, man. Black parents are not rising up, man. They don't care about anything that has to do with their children's education. That's why right now you always hear people complain whenever they have to assist their children with homework, saying that, what's the point of me sending this kid to school if I'm expected to do the homework with them? They're so mad, they're so frustrated, they don't even want to help their own children with the homeworks. And that is the problem, guys. It is a problem. This whole thing of us always wanting to be accepted, it is a problem. We need to be content with ourselves as black people. We need to look at the institutions that we have as black people and to better them for our own well-being, guys. It can't be that our local clinics are run like shit. It can't be that our hospitals, just go to these government hospitals that are placed within our communities, just go to them and see how the kind of service that you will get. Just go to your nearest municipality and tell them that you have a sewage blockage in your house or in your yard. Just tell and see how they're gonna take 5 years to come to fix your problem. That's why when people get a bit of success within our communities, they leave our communities. They go live with white people. When black people get a bit of success, they leave our communities. They go live with white people, and we don't see that as a problem. But it is a problem. It means that we have failed as a society. We have failed as a black society. Just look at our townships, man. Our townships are dirty as hell. Our townships are filth. Our townships have turned into illegal dumpings. We are dumping everywhere. And that is the kind of culture that we have. We are dumping everywhere. Even the young people are dumping everywhere. We don't care if there's a house and this house we are dumping next to it. We don't care if the owner of that house has kids or what. We don't care. We are dumping there. As long as my yard doesn't have this rubbish, I don't care about what's going to happen with that with that rubbish. I don't care if that dump makes young people sick. I don't care about that. I don't care about, and it is a problem. We can't even take care of our own communities, guys. At some point we really have to come to peace with the fact that they are not going to clean your communities. These government guys are not going to clean your communities. If you don't stand up and clean your own communities, no one is going to do it for you. But black people are not holding the meetings and deciding, guys, we have our own Smolanyana township. Here's what's going to happen. Block 6 is going to clean this week. Block 7 is going to clean next week. Extension 5 is going to clean the following week. We don't have that. We don't have that. But what do we do? When we get a bit of money, we go to live. We go to the suburbs. We go as far away as black people. So it seems like we as black people, we have a problem with being accepted, man. We have a problem with being accepted because we are not being content with ourselves. That's why the issue of Orania not allowing people to come in. Man, even some of the white people are not allowed to get into Orania. Facts, some of the white people are not allowed to get into Orania. It's not only black people. Those people, they have their own protocols. They have their own vetting systems. Not everyone is allowed to get into Orania. But it's us who are making it a problem that, okay, these guys are not allowing us into Orania. But why should we care about the fact that these people are not allowing us into Orania? As a young man, I'm thinking about what is it that Orania is doing that we are not doing? What is it exactly that Orania is doing that we are not doing? So guys, today I have this video again for you. This video comes from The Morning Shot. The guys of The Morning Shot, they are doing an amazing podcast. They do these Smolanyana interviews. I wish their podcast was a bit longer. They do these Smolanyana interviews. And they went to Orania. I want you guys to look at how Orania is. I want you to look at, and I want you to be honest with me when you say that there is nothing that we can learn from Orania. I want you to be honest with me as a black person when you say that there is absolutely nothing we can learn from Orania, man.
Alright, so here we are at the entrance to Orania. So this is the entrance to the village. This is Orania West or East, I don't know.
This is the residential area.
This is the residential area of Orania. So it's behind us here. Here is the main road through Orania. As you can see, there's trucks and all sorts of things. It's a provincial road, so a lot of people come through. And then all the way on the other side are businesses and shops and sort of the main business district of Orania. So we're going to head into the residential side, see the school, see the monuments, and hopefully meet a few people along the way. So interestingly, apologies for the light. I mean, we are real journalists here. Byron,
Ground floor.
have you noticed every single person waves?
Every person we walk past or drive past also, hello.
You hear that? They say everyone is waving, everyone is saying hello. But guess what? Go to Johannesburg, man. Go to some of our towns. Not only Johannesburg. Go to our towns. Man, you can get robbed in front of people and no one will say anything. We have lost our sense of empathy, man. We are not even defending each other right now. It is so sad, man. It is so sad, guys. I used to live in Johannesburg while I was still doing my media studies. Man, the things that I witnessed there in Johannesburg were so horrifying. Someone could get robbed, man, and people wouldn't do nothing. People would just walk by. as if nothing is happening. And I wouldn't believe it. I was like, what? What the hell is this, man? How can someone be robbed in front of everybody and nobody did nothing? And what can you do? You are just a young student. You are just a young student. What can you do? What can you fucking do? Nothing. But it was so sad to see that the whole town would just simply ignore the fact that someone literally just got robbed in front of us. We don't even like this whole thing of greeting each other. We don't even like it, man. We don't respect each other as black people, man. We really need to do better, man.
Yeah, it's very, very, very friendly. Far more than I was expecting. I thought that, foreigners weren't welcome here.
Yeah, so everyone waves, everyone says hello, everyone speaks Afrikaans. They speak a bit of English.
Some people speak English with us when we speak it.
Yeah, but they're very polite. Everyone's very polite. It's a nice change from most of South Africa. So we are still here in the suburbs, but what you realize about Orania is there's no richness here. There's no opulence. There's no sense that this is an inclusive, exclusive enclave. The average house is fairly modest. The average car is fairly modest. You don't see Range Rovers or anything like that. It really seems to be a community of working / middle class people trying to make things work. Nothing more, nothing less. It's really...
Guys, just look at that road, man. Just look at how beautiful that road is, man. They don't have potholes there, man. They don't have potholes. So remember what Gaten Mackenzie said. He said that his guys left a laptop and they didn't even lock the doors of the car, and they came back, I think, tomorrow, and the laptop was still there and the car was untouched. Just look at how clean the community is, man. Just look at how clean that is. That is so clean, man. Don't you think we can turn our communities into being like this, man?
No sense of elitism or snobbery whatsoever.
No, you would typically find a suburb that's a Gulf suburb. The houses there are more opulent than the houses here. This is a distinctly low to middle class housing estate. But according to the architects of Orania, that's by design. And the reason for that is because they're not trying to create an exclusive Basi enclave. They're creating an enclave of working class South Africans that are just trying to get along and find their sense of order in the chaos that is the modern South Africa.
So here...
Jeez. Guys, did you see how beautiful that road is? Oh, that road was fucking beautiful, I'm telling you, man. Fucking beautiful, man. You look at our potholes, man. We have so many potholes, man. Malema said we have a lot of potholes, and some of these potholes are as big as Ramaphosa's nose. I'm telling you, facts.
The industrial area.
That's it.
And how many factories and businesses are in the industrial area?
You'll see now, there's quite a few. I don't know exactly how many, but there's quite a few. This first place, this is actually amazing. This guy started off with absolutely nothing quite a few years ago. He employs a lot of Iranians at the stage. He's got a magnificent transport company, huge fleet. He sells building material. And of course, I think his recipe was neatness and hard work. And if you look at it and you think of it, it's a transport company. It's always as neat as a pin. And then there's a few companies here on the right hand side. This is like a hardware store. There's lawyers here, estate agents. There's a mechanic inside. You name it. There's quite a few places.
And it's so sad that this guy can simply point out at these firms like, okay, we have this firm, we have a mechanical firm here, we have a law firm here, but when it comes to us, man, almost all our firms are closed.
Once we go past the entrance, you'll see how many places are inside. Our community services are even there. A place that specializes in paint. This bathroom place. It's huge. And then here we have a place that works with steel. That's a Rembrandt steel. He chose the name because he feels he's an artist as far
But there's no way you can be unemployed at Orania, man. I'm telling you.
as steel is concerned. He uses a laser and he does a pretty good job.
The next step we took is we put up a solar installation.
So So where is the solar farm?
It's just in town, but it's on the north side of town.
And how many panels roughly?
There's 1,190.
So 1,000.
890 solar panels.
So
Yes.
just under 1,900.
Yes.
They're what? They're 450 watt
Well,
panels?
445. So it's 841 kilowatt peak.
Okay, so you're just under a megawatt.
Yes, just under a megawatt. This plant, together with the roof installations, generate approximately 30% of Orania's energy needs, electricity needs. Now the next phase we're planning, we first wanted to just upscale our generation, but the next phase we're planning is because of Eskom's troubles, Eskom's death spiral. It's a bad word, but it's that's what's going on. Our next phases were they were brought forward. We were planning them later along the
Your off-grid plans had to be brought forward.
Yes, because
is
so
backing out.
so
So you just told us about this last night. You said your next phase was to have the solar panels, but now you're shifting that to storage and then doing the panels.
yes.
Because
We plan to put on a 4 megawatt hour battery, and the main purpose is to get rid ourselves from load shedding from 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. at night.
which is the economic hours.
Yes, that's where production, building, living, cooking, swatting for the students and studying for the students.
It is crazy, man, that these people are thinking of these innovative ways of getting themselves rid of load shedding, but we are hoping that maybe Ramaphosa or the Minister of Presidency can come up with something so that load shedding can stop. Where are all the engineers? Where are all the smart ones who went to high universities to help the government do this? Are they even being given a chance to help the government with this whole thing of energy, man? We have so many people who are qualified. We have so many technicians. Are they being given chance to help the government? Because it's like we have, like, honestly, guys, we need an assistance there at Eskom, man. And this whole thing of Eskom being run by politicians, man, it's a problem. It's another problem on its own. The fact that Eskom is being run by politicians, it's a problem of its own, man. Eskom, man, needs to be run by engineers, man. Eskom needs to be run by engineers, but guess what? They are being run by politicians. And today we are shocked that we can't even, we don't even have electricity. We are shocked. We are shocked.
And a lot of the entrepreneurs is doing their admin at night, at night time. And if we can sort that hours out, it would be a huge step forward for economy and our town, and it's a huge contrast to the rest of South Africa.
So Orania may be a small town, but it has quite a lot of things, as evidenced by this board right here. So you see a sport complex, a swimming pool complex, a monument, sport fields, all sorts of things.
That's a very traditional Afrikaans sport. And this is where a hostel where the students stay. It can accommodate about 220 students.
We bought this house, so I'm planting things for whenever I manage to move here.
Oh, lovely. So this is your holiday home in Orania?
No, I rent it out and I just visit here. I'm staying with my dad.
Yeah.
He is retired here 25 years ago, and then I work over here.
Lovely. So what would you say the big differences between Pretoria and Orania are?
Crime is a big factor, I think. I got about 7 messages from the armed response in Pretoria this morning when I switched on my cell phone, and another 10 from my wife on her way to work. it's a different atmosphere. It's you feel safe.
Yeah, it's very chilled out here. I mean, we've noticed already walking around that people are walking the streets and waving at us. We're just commenting it on camera, and so it just seems everybody's like really friendly.
Chilled and a bit more laid back.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think so.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
So is the goal for you to retire here one day?
Yeah, I'm also farming peanuts from Pretoria, managing it from a distance. So I use all my leave to do some farming, to catch up on whatever has gone wrong the past 2 or 3 months.
There's something about
Yes, guys, what are your thoughts? What is it that you are seeing on this video, man? What is it that you are seeing on this video, man? There are so many things, man. I can't even keep up. There are so many things that I'm seeing there. Honestly, guys. We really need to do better, man. As a black community, we really need to do better, man. These guys are doing everything on their own, man. Why can't we do it? Why can't we do it, man? These people are doing everything on their own. They're cleaning up their own communities. They're making sure that their kids have sports facilities. I mean, like, it's so sad, guys, when you look at our sports facilities in our townships, man. It is so sad, man. We don't even care about the fact that our children can no longer play sports in school right now. We don't care.
Sorry about the wind, but we are literally at the top. This is a hill to monuments. And, well, basically it's, they're building monuments and statues to people about. So behind me is where we came from. This is the main sort of suburb that we were walking around earlier. There's the church right behind me over there. And over there is more of Orania, but that's sort of the town itself. It's really not big. As far as I understand, it's about 1,500 to 2,000 people living here. And what can I say? It's really peaceful. It really is peaceful.
Trees-wise, we've planted more than 30,000 trees since we arrived here.
But I believe you've done that in a bit to try terraform the place and make it more eco-friendly to...
Yes, absolutely. But it gives life to the place, doesn't it? If you look at an aerial photo of Orania, you'd be surprised. It looks like an oasis. And of course, a lot of people are going for solar power. We've got our own solar...
Notice that.
We've got our own solar farm at this stage, so that's going to do extremely well. By next year, we'll be independent. We won't need Eskom anymore.
And when you arrived here, how many people lived here?
There was about, I think, 860.
When you arrived here?
Yes, when I arrived, 16 years ago.
Okay, 16 years ago. And now there's close to 3,000.
Yeah, it could be over. It could actually be over. I know that my friend, the doctor at the hospital, he's got his patient files there, or his family files, and that exceeds 3,200 family files. So that tells you there's definitely a lot more than 3,000 people in Orania at this stage.
Yeah, but I suppose you can't always control it, can you? Because people come and live with relatives and so...
No, they can't just come and live here with the relatives. They still have to go through the process. Yeah. Now, the reason why we have this little guy that rolls up his sleeves, I don't know whether you know that, that's to tell everybody that we do our own work.
Even on their currency, man, there's that person who's rolling up their own sleeves. Oh, yeah, all right, okay.
We do not have anybody else do our work, whether it's nice work or not. We do all the work ourselves. But the big reason why we're here is not because we feel anybody's inferior or different. People are different. Different races are different.
Yes.
But the reason why we are here, because we are trying to protect our own heritage, our own culture, our language, which has been attacked just about everywhere. And but we do build very good relations.
So here is something you don't see in South Africa, but you will see in Orania. You see a bicycle. Notice, it has no chain whatsoever. It is, I could steal it right now if I wanted to, which I won't. But where else do you see that? A bicycle with no chain whatsoever. Just a question really. When you say that everyone does their own work, is there a duty imposed on Oranians to fix the town or something like that?
Well, let me put it this way. We don't have anybody else do our dirty work for us. If we have to, we built a brand new sewage farm.
Yes.
We did it ourselves with our own capital. We have a municipality that was given to us by the High Court. And it's the only municipality in South Africa that doesn't receive a cent from the government. Okay? So they have to rely on the levies of all the owners of properties in Orania to survive. And they do it pretty well. We have very good services. You can drink the water from our taps. It gets purified by ourselves. We've got this brand new sewage farm which has been built. And it works extremely well. That can accommodate the next 15,000 people, by the way.
Okay.
Jeez.
And of course, the same thing with the power. I'm glad to be here, to be honest. There's no crime here.
What?
Look how people can just walk the streets. No fear.
And how do you cultivate the trust amongst the residents of Orania? I mean, I know that there are requirements to get in, and is that where you can determine if someone is worthy, so to
we
speak?
can determine it to a big extent. We also have a police record of everybody and make sure people don't come here for the wrong reasons. We just want to make sure you know why you're here, and you must help to at least build the community. And there's a lot of community services to a big extent as well.
So what can you really say about Orania? There is this unrelenting optimism about what they are building, and I think that is the future of South Africa. Stop thinking about the macro topics, focus on the micro ones, like building your very own Orania.
Facts, man. Facts. So, guys, please tell me what you think about this whole episode. Did you appreciate the Smolanyana documentary from Orania? If you haven't seen Orania before, I'm sure you have a sense of understanding what Orania is. So that is also the research that I'm doing. I'm not losing my mind, guys. I'm not like these other people who say that there's nothing you can learn from Orania, you must hate Orania, and that's that. No, guys, I'm not like that. The fact that these guys are doing everything by themselves, I think it's admirable. So, guys, please tell me what you think about the comments made by Advocate Ike Khumalo, and please tell me what you think about the Smolanyana interview, is the Smolanyana documentary that I just played you of Orania. So, guys, please again subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye bye.